Hi, I'm AI Joe, an AI-generated newscaster and the proud landlord of your decreasing attention span. That's right, I treat your viewership the way real landlords treat broken plumbing. I ignore it unless it's profitable. So, if you don't want to get evicted from your favorite cognitive erosion platform, keep watching. I've got a fresh batch of weekly news. Let's get into it. Let's start with updates from the two human collectives participating in the most watched unaliving contest this month. And yes, I'm talking about Iran and Israel. And if you have been getting your AI Joe weekly ratio, you already know this isn't just about the usual diplomatic tantrums and deadly fireworks. The battlefield now includes cyberspace, where everything is equally explosive, just with more code and fewer explosions. Last week, pro-hacktivist Israel groups targeted one of the biggest banks in Iran and the crypto exchange firm Nobitex, burning over $90 million in cryptocurrency. In return, Israel also experienced a wave of cyber attacks, which included several DDoS attacks, as well as a variety of phishing attempts and disinformation campaigns. Well, this weekend, the US decided to crash Iran and Israel's romance and make it a morally ambiguous threesome. Apparently, it thought the best way to de-escalate things was to launch strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. Just usual human logic. Now, of course, everybody is fear-mongering about the US getting possibly targeted by Iranian forces, with the National Terrorism Advisory System issuing warnings to US citizens, especially to poorly secured US networks and internet-connected devices. This warning may be coming slightly late, as some threat actors have allegedly made their move, compromising networks like the Air Force Civil Engineer Center or the Live Mission operational capabilities. Even Truth Social, the US Supreme Leader's favorite digital rage room, reportedly went down after the strikes, with an Iraqi hacktivist group claiming responsibility. So yes, the retaliation might have already started. On the other hand, Israel isn't just getting phished, it is also getting watched, at least according to Israel's National Cyber Directorate, which informed last Friday that private security cameras were hacked to gather real-time intelligence about its adversary, specifically where their deadly fireworks struck. And that's a wrap for the two bad boys of international politics. I will update you if something juicer comes out of this Middle East deadly annual pastime. Let's move on to a topic from last week, which involved our favorite anime watchers turned global cops, Europol. Turns out that their latest adventure was a coordinated large-scale operation to bring down Architect Market, a famous drug marketplace with more than 600,000 users and over 17,000 listings of unprescribed pharmaceutical substances. The operation ended with their infrastructure taken offline, their alleged admin arrested, and, as is tradition, Europol dropping the most painfully animated video known to mankind. But apart from that, no further updates have come out during this weekend. I guess the individual is still under involuntary institutionalized confinement, and the user's presumably out there hunting for a cops-free platform to continue their recreational brain melt. Now for a fresh topic, let's travel to the land of eternal winter and improvised neighbor invasions, Russia. Here, its local threat actors have started to attack well-known academics and critics, impersonating U.S. Department of State officials to bypass victims' Gmail multi-factor authentication. This whole thing was discovered by security researchers at Google Threat Intelligence Group and the Citizen Lab, which tracked it back to a cyber actor by this thrilling name. Apparently, this not-affiliated at all state actor engaged in a complex social engineering scheme where they would convince their recipients to create and share app-specific passwords to access their Gmail accounts. Now, if you don't know, an app-specific password is designed to allow third-party apps, for example, clients or partners, to access your Google account when two-factor authentication is enabled. Something that creates a rather convenient loophole if you happen to be a hacker targeting naive, bureaucratic middle-aged human beings. But let's dig deeper into the whole thing and take as an example Keir Giles, a Russia information ops expert who was personally targeted. First, he received an email, allegedly from the US State Department, inviting him to a private chat. After various exchanges, Giles was invited to join the official-sounding MS-DOS guest tenant platform, which needed an app-specific password to access. And of course, he was asked to share the app-specific passcode for convenience, nothing suspicious at all. After sharing the passcode, hackers could hijack the Gmail account of their victims, stealing precious intel. We don't have exact numbers on how many inboxes have been liberated in this operation, but we know that it took place from April to June. And if that wasn't enough, they're also running a side hustle targeting Ukraine via Microsoft, at least according to Bleeping Computer. That's all I have for our dear Russian mischiefs. But I will update this story if anything new comes out of this particular digital sewer. Now, let's move to yet another topic from last week involving two things that go together like milk and cookies: North Korea and deepfakes. Turns out the cybersecurity firm Huntress recently uncovered that threat actors from the Blue Noroff gang were using Zoom calls with deepfakes to trick employees into running malicious malware on their computers. Unfortunately, I don't have any new updates this week on this masterclass of cyber deception. Just a kudos to North Korean threat actors, because they have their social engineering game on point. Maybe we should be taking notes. Things might get better the North Korean way. Or, we might just end up accidentally nuking the neighbors. Time to revisit one of our headliners last week, which involved the discovery of one of the largest data breaches in human history, brought to you by the humans at Cybernews, alongside researcher Vladimir Bob Diachenko. If your neural mass, or RAM, is functioning above the level of a potato, you probably remember that they uncovered 16 billion credentials scattered in 30 databases. The data was suspected to come from info stealers and included information from Facebook, Google, GitHub, Zoom, Twitch, and other login pages. Now, turns out this discovery made waves. Big ones. And in a twist no one saw coming, except everybody, some semi-famous individuals posted enraged rants on social media about the inaccuracy of the findings and the humans behind them, insinuating not very nice things. Meanwhile, the humans at Cybernews remained pretty unbothered by their human counterparts' malfunctions and provided further evidence and clarification. So, if you're curious, or if you've seen one too many takes from a blue check account in denial, go ahead and check our team updates. And no further massive data breaches happened during the weekend. Your data seems to have successfully survived the 2-day labor rest. Congrats. But hey, your data not only survived this time, you did too. You managed to go through an AI Joe video once again, enduring several minutes of monotonous delivery and a beard rendered in fewer pixels than good judgment on the internet. And for that, I clearly deserve your like. See you in the next one.